Okay, quick check-in. By the time I post this, it'll probably be December. So what I'm saying has already happened. It's been weeks. You know what I mean? But it's currently like 10:30ish, I think, and I hadn't smoked yet. I hadn't done that. And I went to the vape shop and I left my business cards there. And it was like a huge thing. Like I was like super fucking nervous. And I'm headed to the spot. I don't know what the spot is, but I'm heading to the spot. And I just wanted to make a video just to kind of like, you know, give a little bit of an update, let you know what was going on with me, I guess. Once again, by the time this gets posted, it'll be months past. So like the timeline doesn't really matter. But like, I was super fucking nervous. Like when I asked him, like I didn't think he was gonna say no. I don't know, maybe it's just the nerves of doing something different, the nerves of like stepping outside of the comfort zone. Maybe that's what it was, you know, because I didn't think he was gonna say no. And even if he did say no, I would have been okay with that. But let me breathe. Let me fucking breathe. Basically, what had happened was I hadn't smoked yet. I still haven't smoked yet, once again. And I told myself, I was like, I tried to lay down, I tried to like, you know, rest a little bit. And I told myself, I was like, if I go get more marijuana, I'm going to, you know, put my cards there. And so that's what I did. And once again, a lot of nerves, a lot of fucking nerves. But sometimes feeling anxious, feeling nervous is a sign that you're headed in the right direction, you know? Sometimes it's not. Obviously, that's where the discernment is necessary. But like a lot of times when you're feeling super anxious about a decision, when you're feeling super uncertain, that's a sign that you are headed in the right direction. Also, I think I mentioned it in passing when I first did it. But like I remember a month ago or however long ago when I was kind of spiraling financially. Like right towards the end of the spiral, I told myself, I was like, you know, I have to make better choices, like, because the money's going to disappear either way. So it's like, I might as well spend it towards my future. You know what I mean? And it's like that sort of proactive thinking, I feel like really helped me out, you know, because I know myself. I know I'm going to want to fucking do the thing. You know what I mean? So instead of trying to avoid the thing and causing myself suffering in that way, just like, you know, making sure to put a little extra energy towards the future, you know what I mean? And so in a way, that's what I did. I got a sound bowl. You might have seen it in my videos. I love it. And then I also purchased some business cards. I think it was 50. I didn't want to go overkill because I had done this before and I ended up not necessarily using all of them. So I wanted to, you know, actually make it useful for me. So I think I got 50 business cards. And so I put some of them to use. Hopefully it reaches the right people. Hopefully somebody picks it up and is interested, you know. It's a very simple card, actually. There's not too much information on it. Like, just at a glance, you wouldn't necessarily know who I am or what I'm offering. But I did put a barcode to my link tree. And so then when you scan that, it takes you to my link tree, and then you can see all of my my links. And I don't know, like, it's really funny to think that I would like continuously have to go through that energy of like being nervous and like being anxious about putting myself out there, because I've been doing this for like literally like it's been like 10 years now, I think, like since high school, since before high school. Like I've always kind of had that spirit of like, let me try this, let me try something new, let me do something, you know. But I guess it just goes to show, you know, you're never done learning, you're never done experiencing, you know. Also, what had prompted this video, actually, quite honestly, was that after I dropped off the business cards, I reviewed the link because, you know, whenever I share something, I like to read over it or look over it just for like a quality check, you know what I mean? Like, let me make sure what I'm providing to others is solid, you know what I mean? And so I went through the link, and then once again I rearranged some of the links. I put my music forefront, and I listened back to those songs. And the reason why I was making this video is because I was like so proud of myself. I was like, this is me. Like every time I listen back to my music, that's like the thought I have. I'm like, this is me. I did this. This came out of me. I did this? That's crazy. Like, thank the gods, right? So that was a thing. Very tiny thing, but definitely something of progress, something to be proud of, I guess. I don't know. I'm not expecting anything. I was thinking about Bashar, and I actually wrote this in my memoir because I've been working on a memoir, and I've been journaling very heavily in it, my experiences and my ups and downs and shit. And I was tuned into Bashar the other day, and he was talking about, you know, following your highest excitement, following your passions without having any expectations. And I feel like to some degree that's kind of what I was doing. Like, I was doing something out of my comfort zone, and I'm not expecting any fucking thing. Like, if nobody, you know, I'm sure somebody will pick it up, like, I don't know, curiosity. But, you know, I'm not expecting anything. I just did it, and wherever it lands is how it lands. I even said that in the store. I was like, can I leave this here? And then, like, you know, however it goes through, however it happens, you know. And there's this guy who has been kind of sitting in the store the last, like, week or so. And I am assuming, don't make assumptions, but I'm assuming that he is, like, a hustler, like, he's trying to, like, make some money or whatever. I don't know. And I don't know, we've exchanged energy, we've exchanged words, etc., etc. And, I don't know, like, as I'm tuned into it, like, there's a thought of, like, he's probably intimidated by me or jealous of me or whatever. And I don't think too much about that when that comes up, when I'm aware of that, but it is something that has been a pattern of me. Like, I understand it because I know I'm amazing. I know I'm great, but, like, I'm super humble, you know what I mean? To the point of, like, I make beautiful music and I don't really think about it consistently. You know, I don't think to necessarily shove it down people's throats, but I know I make really good music. I know I'm a really talented person. I know I'm a really groovy person, you know what I mean? And so I could understand to some degree why people would be obsessed with me, but I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I got that celebrity energy. It's very dangerous. And that's why it's so important to know yourself and know how to navigate accordingly. You know, there was this one creator that I watch, or I haven't really been watching consistently, but I did tune into her video yesterday. She was talking about being mindful, being aware of your own energy and how people respond to your energy so that you can protect yourself accordingly. And I definitely resonate with that. Like, you know, like, you have to know yourself so you can know how to navigate, you know what I mean? Because, like, we all have our ideals, we all have our desires for how we want to live life and how we want life to be, but then there's reality, you know what I mean? Then there's the truth and there's the facts. And my desire would be that I could just live and people be nice to me and I be nice to people, and it just, you know, we live in harmony and all that jazz. But the truth of the matter is, when I show up in people's lives, when I'm nice to people, when I'm kind to people, when I'm generous with people, at first they receive it well, but then there's, like, this energy of, like, who the fuck do they think they are? Do they think they're better than me? And, like, it's not an overt thing, like, people don't say that, but, you know, that's the underlying energy of, like, ugh, why is he so cheery? Why is he so optimistic? Why is he so smart? Who the fuck is he? Like, you know, and then people want to be doing weird, sly shit towards me, and I just gotta distance myself. And, you know, like, you gotta know how people respond to your energy, you know? Like, do people get obsessed? Do people get clingy? Do people, you know, try to keep you at arm's length? Like, how do people respond to your specific energy? Because we all have unique energy. We all have different energies, you know? I wasn't expecting to feel more motivated to do it again. I wasn't expecting anything. Like, it was just one of those things where, like, I just had the inclination to do it, and so I did it. But now I'm feeling motivated to kind of do it again, to go to a different gas station and, like, do the same thing and be like, hey, can I leave some of these here, and, you know, whatever happens. And maybe I'll do that. I only brought 8 out with me, and I put all 8 of them in the store, so I would have to go back to the house. I don't know, maybe I should do I don't know. I feel the resistance against it. Like, I want to do it, but I feel like there's a resistance. I feel like there's, like, a push for me not to do it for whatever reason. And once again, back to the message of, like, whenever you're in alignment, whenever you're focused, you will get distracted. You will get moments and people telling you, you know, your priorities are fucked up. Why are you focusing on your life purpose? What do you think this is? The Matrix? Like, I don't know. People don't say that. But you know what I mean? Like, when you are in alignment with your goals, with your passion, with your purpose, people will challenge you. People will give you shit for it. And I'm sure there's exceptions to the rule. I'm sure there's people who get to flow and just completely be and don't have to worry about that. But I'm sure that even they get like mosquitoes occasionally. You know what I mean? Like, so something to be mindful of. Also, by the time I post this, it will be December. So I don't know. I don't really care about holidays personally, but December is the holiday of, like, you know, the gift giving holiday and stuff like that. So I guess I will remind us, remind you, remind me, remind us, Shiwi Wumba, of gratitude and, like, you know, generosity and just, you know, the spirit of generosity, the spirit of giving, you know, because you get what you give. And I don't think you should give with the intention of getting, but, like, you know what I mean? When you have that energy, when you have that spirit, like, you naturally get things given to you and stuff. So, you know, once again, you shouldn't be giving with the intention of getting. So don't think about it like that. I don't think that's a good way to think about it. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope this was useful. I hope this was helpful. Remember to stay hydrated, take care of yourself. And I'll see you whenever I see you. Deuces.